All right. If you are all the way to 11 and 12, you either didn't miss very many or you are working really fast. What is the sum? Sum tells you to do what? Add. We are adding these two numbers. What is the sum of negative 4 and 1/2 and 10 and 1/3? First step, let's write it. It's like a division, or it's an addition problem, right? So let's write it as an addition problem. In step 1, on the poster in our room, in your notebook, I think page 7, is to do what? Common denominator. I have 2 and 3. What can 2 and 3 both become? 6, right? So I have to rewrite it. Negative 4, and I need to turn 2 into 6. So I'm going to multiply times 3. Both numbers have to be multiplied by 3. And how do I turn 3 into 6? By 2. Both numbers have to be multiplied by 2. If you make a mistake, if you forget that, it makes your whole answer wrong. You got to change the numerator. Now, my second step is to do what? Write vertically. So here's my question. Are the signs the same or different? They're different. So if they're different, which one am I going to add or subtract? Same sign, add. Different sign, subtract. I'm subtracting. So which one needs to go on top? 10 or 4? 10. And is my answer going to be positive or negative? My larger number is positive, so my answer should be positive. So you can cross 2 of these off the answer choices right away. Now let's subtract. Denominator stays the same. 2 minus 3. Ooh, can't do it. Turn 10 into 9. Do you remember what you add? You're going to add whatever this denominator is. So 2 plus 6 is 8. That's your new fraction. Let a tornado take that one away. 8 minus 3, 5. 9 minus 4. And we said the answer was positive. When you write your sentence, you need to tell me, did you forget to change your numerators? Did you forget to borrow? Did you add 10 instead of 6? Tell me what mistake you made. All right. Mrs. Piers walked a total of 26 1/4 miles during a 4-day period. The distances she walked are described below. She walked 6 1/3 miles on the first day. On the second day, she walked 9 1/2 miles. She walked 5 1/4 miles on the third day. Here's your question. How far did she walk on the fourth day? They tell you what she did on day 1, day 2, and day 3. So whatever's left is on the fourth day, right? This is a subtraction problem. You're going to have to subtract total minus what she walked, and that's going to tell you what she walked on the fourth day. So our total here is 26 1/4. It tells us that here. If it's not circled, you need to circle it. We need to know how far she walked after she walked all these miles. So how far did she walk altogether? We have 6 1/3, 9 1/2, and 5 1/4. Pick 2 to add together first. Do not work with 3 numbers. It's just silly. And if you were good enough to work with 3 numbers, you wouldn't have this one wrong. So work with 2 numbers at a time. So 6 1/3 plus 9 1/2. Step 1, common denominator. What can 3 and 2 turn into? 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And I need to turn 2 into 6. So I'm going to take it times 3 and do that to the top as well. Second step, write vertically. Now, are my signs the same or different? They're the same. It's how far she walked. So does it matter which one goes on top? Nope. Whatever makes you happy. Denominator stays the same. 2 plus 3 is 5. 6 plus 9 is 15. If I go too fast, push pause, catch up with me, and then double check your work. If you are just copying my work down, you're wasting your time. You might as well quit. So now I have 15 5/6 plus 5 1/4. First step, common denominator. What denominator can 6 and 4 use? Could use 24, but we could also use 12. So, how do I get from 6 to 12? Times 2. Don't forget to do that to the numerator as well. How do I get from 4 to 12? Times 3. So do that to both numbers. Driving me crazy, that thing is. Second step, write vertically. We're just adding, so it doesn't matter which one you want to put on top, whatever makes you happy. Denominator stays the same. 10 plus 3 is 13. 5 plus 5 is 10. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, this is where we get, if you got all the way to here, and then that 13 over 12 messed with your brain, what is 13 over 12? It's improper, right? So how do we change an improper fraction to a mixed number? We have to divide. This division is not difficult. 12 goes into 13 one time, and then you have a 1 remainder. That remainder is your numerator. This fraction is this fraction. So I'm going to get rid of this and replace it with 1 1/2. Now I have 20 and 1 1/2. Together, they're 21 1/2. Oh, but that's not an answer choice. That's okay. Because we really don't want an answer choice because we're not done yet. We got one more step. This is how far she walked on day 1, 2, and 3. We need to know how far she walked on day 4. So you're going to have to subtract. Almost there, guys. Again, write it out. And step 1 says you need a common denominator. What can you use for 4 and 2? Yeah, let's use 4. How do I get from 2 to 4? Times 2. Now I'm ready to subtract. My second step says to write vertically. Doesn't matter which one goes on top. Well, the answer to number 13 says it totally matters. Denominator stays the same. 1 minus 2. You're right, I can't do it. So borrow from the 6, turn it into a 5. What are you going to add to this 1? Whatever the denominator is. So now we have 5 over 4. Get rid of this. Big tornado come through. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 1, 4. 2 minus 2 is nothing. Uh-oh. I made a mistake somewhere, didn't I? Hang on. I have to hit pause and figure it out. Ha! I just figured it out. It's 1/12, not 1/2. That would be my sentence. I rewrote it as 1/2 instead of 1/12. Oops. So I gotta come back here. 21 and 1/12. Now, what can I turn 4 and 12 into? Yeah, 12. 26 and 3/12 minus 21 and 1/12. Hey, that's even an easier subtraction. Denominator stays the same. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 minus 1 is 5. Ooh. Well, I know it's not A and I know it's not D. So even if I just rule out A and D and I have to guess, that's not a bad, like there's a good chance I'll get it right. I have 2 and 12 though. What can I divide 2 and 12 by? 2. So now I have 5 and 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 5 and 1, 6. Is that an option? Oh, way better. Sorry I made a big mess out of that, guys. If you need more paper because you wrote in pen and then I erased but you can't, we can totally turn in your paper for your work shown.